On the Next Up Bodybuilding podcast, we got two great people, and I swear I didn't plan this. I didn't tell them to wear the same clothes, have the same beard, get a haircut in the morning, got the same tattoos. But it's a great pleasure to have Mike Christian, IFBB Pro Men's Physique. Mike, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Yeah, once again, I appreciate y'all for having me. Mike Christian, turned pro at Universe 2019. Been competing since 2014. So been around for a little while. Done about 12 shows, 7 of which nationals. So consistency, it's been a journey for sure.
Gotcha. Well, thanks for being on. And you guys know Daniel McGee down in Texas. These guys, it still surprises me. They're both wearing red tanks.
Red tanks,
and red tanks and tattoos. Nice. So, Mike, where are you at right now?
I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina. Yep.
Oh, nice. That's a good area.
Yep, I like it. I've been here for about 4.5 years now. I moved down from the DC area.
Okay, gotcha. Are you from DC?
No, I'm from Virginia, Southern Virginia, so like around the Norfolk, Chesapeake area, Virginia Beach.
Okay, gotcha. Hey, were you just going down there for work, or you just need to change the scenery?
It's kind of weird. I kind of had a game plan some years ago as far as go to DC, get into my profession, and then move down to the South. I tried to stay up there, but just the cost of living and everything is pretty rough up in DC area. So I ended up coming down here. I got some extended family here, and so just been making it work, man.
Nice. I'm happy for you. And one thing, we always get into this, and none of us are on the Olympia stage just yet. So we all got day jobs, right? Okay. You mentioned your profession. What pays the bills for you?
Yeah, so I'm a cyber engineer, cybersecurity, so doing IT, as well as real estate investing and a few other things on the side, just trying to stay busy.
Okay. Yeah, just like the rest of us. Daniel, you having some trouble there holding the camera?
My Cadillac steering wheel is just not working today.
There's a Cadillac. You got brand new CTSV. You don't know how to drive it. But Mike, that's awesome. Like, you're cybersecurity. You're doing your real estate thing on the side. I know you coach and help people out with their nutrition.
Yes.
Yeah. I like you got the 3 sources of income. My mom was always trying to preach that to us.
Got to, man. Got to. On top of the stocks and stuff too. I do that daily, day trading, doing options and all that stuff. So
how's the market out there where you live? Like the housing market and things like that?
I mean, it really all depends on where you live at. Out here is, you can pay, if you want to be a little bit away from the city, you can get a brand new 2,500 square foot house, under around $200,000. But if you get closer to the city, like my house was like double that. So it's weird. Like I've gotten accustomed to the convenience. Now I would love to be outside the city limits. You can you get a few more pros and cons. Like, you're outside the city limits, so you can shoot on your own land and stuff like that.
Mike, I didn't know we'd have this much in common. Daniel and I are Texas boys.
Yes, right now I can't do that, unless it's a holiday. I go in the backyard to shoot. But but other than that, I can't do that. But it's weird. I do plan on selling this house next year. Still staying in the area, but I'm trying to find the happy medium where I'm close to everything, but maybe right outside the city limits, so I can kind of have a little more free range. So we'll see what's out there. It all depends, because if you move 10 feet this way, houses are like $200,000 more expensive. You move 10 feet this way. So it's trying to find a happy medium.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I got to ask, what do you shoot?
So what?
What do you shoot?
Right now, I have a Millennium Pro Taurus 9mm.
Okay.
So I was looking at I wanted an AR because one of my buddies, he has like 5 of them, 300 blackouts, and he customizes everything. So that's on the next agenda. I found one gun shop actually within my neighborhood that I need to check out because some of the other ones, the lines are like wrapped around the building lately.
I ordered a gun last month. Bella then tried to tell me it's on back order. And I'm just like, oh, this is the last thing you want to be waiting on. You can wait on a house. You can wait on a car. When you buy a gun, you want that shit today.
Yeah, you want it, man. So yeah, that's the biggest thing, and trying to find the right seller, you know, retailer, because some places don't want to give you business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So
I
I've come across that, but you know, just still pushing forward. As long as I got one that stays on me, you know, it don't
yeah.
matter. It don't matter. It don't matter the size of the gun. It's who get to it first.
Exactly. We're gonna chop it up on some more 2A stuff later. This is gonna be a whole nother episode. But let's get into bodybuilding. So you moved around a little bit. You got 3 sources of income. Why compete?
I mean, initially it was like the bucket list. I was on a constant bulk. I was always in the gym, but I kind of started taking my nutrition a little more seriously as far as calorie consumption. But it's like you come across those guys in the gym that consider themselves a bodybuilder, but they never put themselves through a cut cycle. I'm like, what I mean? You can label yourself anything, but until you actually go through the full fire, you can't really label yourself that.
Yeah.
So, I did my first show. I remember Max Muscle, Woodbridge, Virginia, around November timeframe, 2014, and I just fell in love with it, man. I related a lot. I'm in a fraternity, so I related a lot to that as far as the struggles that it takes to accomplish, but then you meet people that are going through the same thing, and that's where you start building bonds and relationships. And I really, really enjoyed that. Just backstage, people talking food. I love food. So I mean, and then like I've always just been different as far as just different hobbies, different things, kind of ahead of my time for as far as my age group at that time. But yeah, man, it was just bucket list and just got hooked to it. And especially, I did pretty decent my first show, and things started catching on and really being in full control of your body. And, that's the best return on investment is, what you put in is what you get out. So,
yeah, I like that. So you found like some pretty good camaraderie within the sport, like being backstage, hanging out with folks, like being in the gym.
Yeah, I have my moments. I've definitely I feed off the energy for sure. Like I have access to a few gyms now. Some are smaller that are, might be 5 to 7 people in there. I might only do shoulders in there, but on some, days that I need to push some weight on chest or back or legs, I need to find me a crowded gym so I can feed off the energy, man. So
exactly.
That's it. It is now. I mean, and then with that has your pros and cons because as you get leaner, people come and approach you and talk to you.
Talk to you more.
Yeah, so and it don't matter how big I get my headphones, it doesn't matter. They'll still approach you. I've had the big beats, and then now I got the buds, and it's like, you know what? At this point, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, man. If you like, those heavy days, so those push or pull days where you need to feed off that energy, when you come down to Texas one of these trips, like hit Daniel up, because he's right now he's at Destination Dallas, and it don't get no better than that, really.
For real.
It's probably the best. It's probably the best vibing gym. It's a gym where you don't have to wear headphones.
Yeah.
And I can't really say that about a lot of gyms. I've been in Metroflex. I've trained at a ton of different gyms, but this is a gym where you don't actually have to play headphones. They play like loud punk music. You can get in the mood, and then you're not worried, or not to say that you're not worried. You don't mind if someone talks to you because you have the same interest.
Yeah. That's how it was. Yeah, that's how it was when I was in the DC area. A lot of gyms were like that, but one gym in particular, a couple of Gold's gyms in Maryland, I would drive 30 to 40 minutes every Saturday.
Yeah.
And by 8:30 in the morning, you're talking about packed house and all people that look like us that are just getting it. So that energy, it's like if you think you're gonna show up and do a bullshit workout, they gonna somebody gonna talk shit, man. So yeah, it's like it makes you go hard. So no, I definitely understand. So if I'm ever in the Dallas area, man, I definitely reach out.
Yeah, definitely. A room at my house.
Yeah, most definitely, man.
Tony, Daniel, remind me his last name. Tony, what is it?
Tony Tavares. He actually won the overall at the at y'all show too.
Universe. He was the classic guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was the overall classic that we took the picture with. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he trains out of Destination most days of the week.
I think he's getting ready for the New York Pro.
New York Pro. Yeah.
Wow, he's going big for the first one.
He's a big boy.
Yeah. He is a large human being.
75 to 220.
Yeah. Yeah, but still, I mean, not even just his size, but just doing the New York Pro. Is that gonna be his debut?
That's gonna be his debut. And I will say this, man, it's a lot of people pump their chest, but this kid, he shows out.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not taking nothing. Yeah, I'm not taking nothing from him at all. I know. I mean, you know how it is with men's physique. You got to be pretty methodical with your shows you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I refuse to put my body through what I put it through, and then just to know if I do New York Pro, you got at least the top 10 Olympians are going to be somewhere in that mix, and you got to have faith in yourself, but you got to be realistic as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not going to show up and just your first show think you're going to knock Andre, somebody off. It's not going to happen, man. So that's already 2 places gone. So now I'm
yep.
Shit, I just saw him backstage. All right, that starts at 4. So I mean, I try to. This year, I was trying to be very methodical, looking at a couple different shows. I wanted to do Vancouver. There was a show in Arizona, and looking at the previous, pictures and outcomes. You had a couple decent names in there, and when I say decent, not to, disrespect anybody else, but the more well-known names in the industry. I like to keep that down so that way you can get a chance to actually be seen and remembered. Versus, okay, I've seen some, judges, their head barely lifts up, just enough to get your number, and they don't look at you anymore. Like, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? But more power to him, man. The New York Pro is awesome. One day I at least want to sit in the audience. You know what I mean? So that'll definitely be cool. So you never know where the journey may take us.
Oh no. And this is the crazy thing is like we just got our pro card last year, you and I, right? Like we're just getting started in this. So I understand, I agree. Like I was methodical from my end. I had planned to do, kind of one of the smaller shows in Texas, City Limit. Even though Dre showed up there last year and walked away with that one, but I was like, all right, I still gotta, go to the hometown crowd. And then I was planning also doing the Phoenix Europa. But that unfortunately got canceled. All those knuckleheads down in Arizona, you know who you are. Wash your hands. And so right now we got on the bucket is to do the Puerto Rico Pro.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's gonna be a nice show too.
That's the goal. Hopefully they'll let us in. Right.
So that's what, the end of August.
End of August, yeah.
Yeah. Nice, man. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do now. At this point, they canceled 4 shows. I'm still hitting it hard, still, dropping body fat. My weight's actually gone up a little bit. We added more food. So yeah, just seeing what coach, I'm checking in daily just to see how I'm responding to just more food, higher carb days. This is my first time carb cycling. So yeah, just really embracing, just the journey, and whenever he says, we're gonna pull the trigger, I'll be ready.
All right, man, dude, you were pretty damn good for that universe. I mean, like, I think me and you switched spots at the overall, right? Just off the top of my head, I was looking back at the photos and the videos, and between you and Coop, I was like, all right, these boys are thick.
Yeah,
so
Coop
you guys are just dense.
Yeah, I talk to him pretty frequently. He's a big boy, man.
Yeah, what is he, like 6'1"? I think he's about Daniel's height.
Yeah. I forget his weight. I think his weight right now has gone up. I think he's like 230, 240, something like that.
Yeah.
He's a big boy, man. And yeah, he's big.
Yeah.
He got he's somebody's linebacker in his past life.
Yep, exactly.
So,
It's gonna be great to be going up against, you guys and others in the future. And yeah, dude, like let me know what you do. What shows
no,
you
I
pick
will,
out. This
man.
run is
I
shorter.
literally like I said, I had the game plan starting in like April.
Yeah.
Well, that's when I started prep, but the first show was gonna be like the beginning of June. I forget which one it was. They
Okay.
had one out here, the Linda Murray. That was in Norfolk. That's a smaller show. So like I said, I had the game plan to do a few smaller shows and like slowly get my way up. The Europa, I was gonna do that one.
Yeah.
And then I know the same day they have the San Antonio.
Yeah.
Um, but I recently switched coaches, so I was like, nah, I'm not gonna tell him really what I want. I'm just gonna let him. I'm completely in the driver's
Yeah.
seat. I mean, passenger seat.
Yeah.
Just let him ride and call the shot. So everything's been working so far, man. Like I said, we'll just see however this pandemic shit works out. I just seen they canceled another, not a pro show, but they canceled the New Jersey something.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I
For the
literally just saw
Bev
that this
show.
morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, who knows, man? We'll see how everything works out.
Who you work with nowadays?
Now is Ryan Benson.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's still fresh new relationship. So,
Yeah.
he's filling me out and I'm filling him out. I know right now he's in Utah for I can't pronounce that damn show's name.
No one can. I did an interview, and I asked my good friend Stephanie. I was like, "How do you pronounce this?" And apparently, the show gave
Gotcha.
everyone a guide. Wichita Warrior. It's
Yeah,
something funny.
Utah Warrior.
Yeah. I just been calling it the Utah show. But a
Yeah,
bunch of guys are going out there.
yeah, I've seen it. So they got 24 guys.
Yeah.
They got actually a nice lineup for sure. I mean, it's at least 10 guys that have won pro shows before. So I mean, yeah, it's some nice hitters up there, man. So and it's
Definitely.
only gonna get, and that's the thing about it is like initially I was thinking, shit, this is a good year to kind of slide in, get my face known.
Yeah.
They pretty much cancel all the shows that you want to slide in, and now it's
Yeah.
like everybody's on crunch time. You know what I mean? Like from I think this will be the first. Yeah, this is actually the first men's physique pro show, and since the
Yeah.
pandemic, I saw them post
Arnold.
that. So yeah, since that, and it's on the ball's gonna get rolling. So I'm imagining 25 to 30 people per show, and a lot of these shows
Yeah.
are back to back. So
If not more. I think this was the show that proved that all right, the rest of if this show got canceled, everyone, wouldn't have gone to the next show either. Right. But since
yeah,
they had the show, the next one, which will be I don't know, like the probably San Antonio Pro, there'll
yeah,
probably be 40 guys there, I think.
yeah.
In Puerto Rico will be even more people.
Oh,
So
definitely Puerto Rico is gonna be a lot of people.
yeah. My wife's happy about Puerto Rico.
Yeah, like, and that's my previous coach. He had mentioned that. And I'm like, man, once again, I want to be methodical. I don't want to just hop in.
Yeah.
Like, I was gonna do Tampa. I'm like, I don't want to just hop in a show just to do a show. Like,
Yeah.
but Tampa's another big show, and
Big.
and then again, obviously, you don't want to hinder yourself and not do a show just because you think it's too big. But my biggest thing is it's not necessarily the size of the show, but I want to do multiple. I mean, you want to take advantage. I'm naturally not like this. So
Yeah.
I'm actually, pretty thick in the all season. So, I want to take advantage and hit my shows back to back. I know in 2018 when I actually did Universe then, trying to hold. Obviously, I didn't get it there, and then I did North American shortly after. So trying to stay super lean for 8 more weeks, that shit sucks, man. So
Sucks, man.
That shit sucks. So that's another thing as far as being, when I say being methodical, is not necessarily dodging shows, but trying. I mean, even Dre, and a lot of the guys, big guys, they say that you got to be smart. You know what I mean?
Oh
Especially,
yeah.
if you're putting your body through whatever you're putting it through, there's certain times that you should be doing stuff and you can't stretch it for health reasons, and
Yeah.
like it only makes sense. So
And the point system as well, when you put that on top of it all, and trying not to die, like yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes it tough this year, is because unless you won the Arnold or the previous Olympia, everyone has to requalify.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So everyone has to win a show or get enough points, which means, you got to place top 5, pretty much all the shows or win a show. And then I'm not sure how they're doing, or maybe they're excluding this year, because they said if you got first place at like a tier 2 show, that's an Olympia qualification, but then you have the elimination round, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not even. So this year, technically, it was supposed to be that first year for that, but COVID. So
yeah.
I don't
Everything
even doing all that. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, man, talk us through like your journey, because before, we kind of hopped on. We were talking about, you started in 2014. I think that's about the same year Daniel started competing as well. You've been to 7 national shows. Like,
Yeah.
7's a lot, brother.
Yeah, it is.
You look good, but like mentally, that can fuck with someone, right? Like, how do you keep going? Like, walk us through that whole process.
A lot of times I think in this sport you have to know how to be real with yourself.
Yeah.
So initially starting out, we all have big dreams of being pro, whatever the dream may be, but I wasn't realistic. Like, I'm one of the smaller dudes in my class. So, when I did my first show in 2014, dude, I was small. I didn't have a coach, just listening to the wrong guidance. Carbs were almost non-existent the entire prep. So I shriveled the like, bro, it was hell. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I did Universe the following 2015. I placed 14th out of 40 guys. So I wasn't too mad about that. So, I mean, and then I did Miami the same year, did roughly around the same. So I was always
15?
placing. And then, say again?
Was that 2015?
Yes.
Daniel, didn't you do Miami in 15?
I did Miami in 16.
Oh, okay. That's what it was.
Yep. And then the following year, 2016, I ended up doing North Americans. I got 13th. I'm like, okay. And then the next year, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to North Americans. That was my game plan, the same judges. I got 3rd, and we were battling. Dude, I got videos. We were up there for a couple minutes. Like, you already know, a couple minutes holding.
A long time. A minute is a long time.
Yeah, I still talk to my boy Cole, who went pro very frequently, and we were battling up there, man. It's crazy how me and him just got tight. Like, we were arm tussling and everything, giving each other the eyes, and we just got real cool. But that was in 2017, and of course, at this point, all right, I'm pumped. I just, I made a huge jump from 13th to now I'm 3rd, and I'm like, okay, 2018 is gonna be the year. So I'm like, let's get it out the way early. Let's go to Universe. And I'm peeled. You know what I mean? I had George Brown was backstage, and he was recording, me and a few other people. And I ended up getting 8th place. That was right when Tyler just did one of his first shows as far as like head judging. I'm like, who is this guy? I was like, oh, Steve got up. Steve's seen me, for a long time at this point, several shows. I'm like, the fuck? And then it was funny because when I ran into Steve again at North Americans the same year, 2018, I said, Steve, are you head judge? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be doing a little bit, but Tyler's good too. I'm like, because he already knew.
That's not what I was asking.
Yeah, that's not what I was asking at all. But I ended up getting 8th again. So Universe and North Americans, I got 8th in 2018. And that was just a blower, man. I got out of character. I was backstage like cussing and fussing, like I'm like, bro, I was a little butthurt. So I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
I just got third place last year. I'm like, now I got eighth twice. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Something ain't right. So regroup, put on a little bit more size. Conditioning was, pretty on point last year. And funny story, just even leading up to that, I did a show out here on the coast, and I got third place. And yeah, that was very controversial. Like, I got a video when they called me to third place, and you just hear the whole crowd just like, what? And
You
with
got
them
third place
changing,
in your class, right?
yeah, but
But then
it
they called
was
for the
not,
overall.
nah, this is not even supposed to happen like that.
I ain't
So
supposed to
like,
step in.
nah, and I honestly, and I say that in the most humble way, but if I was just like, if we could like literally, if this was like YouTube land, I could just snap and show you the video.
Yeah, yeah.
You hear the crowd. It's like, honestly, you can see my face. That was enough gratification. Now, it'd be one thing if the crowd, was like, okay, whatever. But the fact that they felt how I felt at that moment, all you could
Yeah.
see is my face. I smiled, I just clapped. Because that was all I needed. All I needed was to hear the crowd feel what I felt. And
Yeah.
then at that point they had changed the rules. So even to go to nationals, you need top two.
Yeah.
Initially it used to be, when I first started, it was like top five, top three for most shows.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they did this shit on purpose. It was a new judge in the area. I'm like, at this point, I'm just being completely just in my head. And I'm like, you know what? There's a show in Baltimore in 2 weeks. I said,
Yeah.
Coach, I'm to it. So I drove up to Baltimore. Actually, I caught a flight to Baltimore and I won the overall there. And then the following week, I did Universe. And then that's when I won the class.
That's what I thought. Because I remember even last year, you told me you did like a tune-up show, and you had just won the overall.
Yeah,
But
it won't intentionally a tune-up. Like I had to requalify, man. Yeah, so that was 3 shows in 4 weeks. It was a little rough, but it was looking back on it, man. It just adds to the story. It just adds to the journey that you can look back and talk about. But it was some shit. It
we've
was
all
some
had
I
those
understand.
type of stories.
Robbed from a show before too. Same exact thing. But you
shit.
kind of just take it to the chin and move on.
But it was, not even to keep getting into that, man. It was more than just getting robbed, bro. I've done at that point in time. That was my 10th, 11th. That was my 10th show.
Okay.
So the person that was on the far end pretty much going to get probably 5th or 6th place. They lose the scorecard. Have you ever heard of
I
them
have. I heard that shit before, and then they rejudge you in finals.
rejudged us completely? And the guy that was on the far end ends up being in the middle. I was in the middle, and so it was like it was just too much. And of course, he had already won the overall for novice. So
Okay.
like and to mind you, like I said, and he's actually a good dude, you know what I mean? Nothing
Yeah,
against him.
yeah,
But it's like, well, he was so much smaller. And it was just like
yeah.
and me and the second place guy, I would tell for sure, like me and him still talk. Like me and him knew it's gonna be us two. Like we
Yeah.
just knew just off conditioning alone. I'm like, yeah, you the only one that's looking like me. So
Yeah.
and so literally like while we was getting tan, we was like, I don't talk. So he was just like, yo, I'm gonna see you in the box. I'm like, that.
Yeah,
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 say less, bro. But yeah, man, that was a lot. Like I've never, dude, out of the 12 shows, they lose the scorecard, rejudged. Now I'm looking worse than what I was. So that was like throwing more salt on the injury. And mind you, this is the only class they lost a scorecard. Nobody else is just that one class out of the whole show. Yeah, it was too much. So 2 weeks later, Baltimore overall. A week later, Universe, win the class. And yeah, now it's just trying to keep up with the big boys, man. I was looking back at pictures the other day too, because we just hit the little 1 year mark,
yeah.
and y'all boys is big, man. Your ass, man, you big, man.
Yeah. I was looking at pictures. I was just telling my coach. So Daniel and I have the same coach, Justin,
Mhm.
down in Houston, and I was like, dude, we fucking pulled this off. Like, how'd we do that? I felt small. Like, looking back, I looked small. On stage, I looked fine, but I was like, oh my God. Now I'm walking in, you know, pretty confident, like, what the package we're going to bring is going to be better. But I'm still surprised. Like, I knew we were going to, hey, my plan going into Nationals was I'm going to do this shit once. Not meaning, like, this is the only time I'm going to be able to do this, but, like, I'm going to go there. I prep for 6 months. This is a business transaction. I'm going to show my face. I'm going to get my pro card, and I'm going to go home. And that's what I did.
That's a blessing, like, beyond. So, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. You ain't coming there just to have fun, as some say. Like, nah, bro. I spent too much money, too much time. You know how many cookies I would have ate in 6 months? Like, come on, son. Like, I love you some sweets. Like, nah, we here to win. Like, I literally just was talking to one of my guys yesterday. He was like, yeah, man, I'm not really trying to go pro. I said, what the fuck is you doing it for? You know what I mean? I understand everybody got their reasons. So, I mean, I asked him this because, I mean, initially when I started, that wasn't really the goal. But I'm like, so, bro, I guarantee you, literally what I told him yesterday, I was like, I guarantee you win or even place top 5 and you see your potential. You see people that look up to you. It's going to make you want to keep going. You know what I mean? Especially if you ain't got shit else to do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you, when I say that, I mean, like, you got your normal 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You work out already. I mean, what's the only thing different that you're doing? You're in the gym 6-7 days a week. The only thing different is just your food. Yeah. So, I mean, what's really your reason for stopping, honestly? I mean, obviously you got to have that that life balance, but it's like, yeah, keep going. Especially you only did one show. Shit, keep going, man.
Man, I always figured, like, I tell people all the time, like, I was gonna be in the gym regardless. Might as well, you know, show the work off. And
Facts.
yeah, it's just crazy. And you know, Dana and I, being brothers and everything, we grew up, you know, working hard. You know, my dad had us working doing lawn care shit our entire life, right, growing up. So to get in the real world, we were like, oh, this shit's kind of easy. So like I felt like we resorted to like what we knew was like physically work hard, and that's the gym. And then, you know, you add that couple layers, you know, presenting your physique at the end of the day. It's only natural that we became bodybuilders.
Yeah, man. And then I've learned just from, you know, from me, because I'm never like the biggest guy. Normally kind of fall in the middle as far as stature in my class. But one thing I just got to make sure is that my conditioning is on point. Like, conditioning on when shows. Everybody has good core, but, you know, a lot of guys hold water in their backs, their low backs. Yep. So yeah, your rhomboids, your traps look good. Let's get down to that low back.
Yeah.
That's gonna set you apart, you know what I mean? So, you know, finding that, you know, your sweet spots and knowing where to, you know, how to play off your strengths, man, that's the name of the game, man. So
yeah, definitely. No, and I agree. Like, even last year when we were going up against you guys, I had one of my coaches there, my training coach, Bo knows. He's out in Utah with his girl. He was like, I was like, how did I lose the overall? Right? That's what I wanted to know. He's like, those guys are just a little bit denser, a little bit more conditioned. And, you know, that's some good feedback. I even got that from Tyler. And it's like, okay, I can live with that. I know what to do going forward.
Yeah. And I will say, looking back at the pictures, man, I know for me, bro, I put on like 10 layers of tan, bro.
Did you really?
I'm so serious, because even though I like visually looking,
I thought you were dark.
That's what I'm saying. Visually, I'm a dark skinned guy, but it's like
you were dark on stage too. I was like, this dude is dark.
The thing is, it's like, I don't know what it is. It's like, I'm dark visually, but it's something about those lights, man. Those lights just penetrate through all that shit, and I'm lighter. Especially, I know, like, Universe, North Americans, those lights are bright. So I'm looking, you know what I mean? I'm looking pretty light versus you get some of those guys like George Brown, you know, or even George the Bull, like, they keep that dark Breon, they keep that dark melanin underneath whatever lights, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now, and we all know the darker you are, man, those lines look crazy. So like, I make sure I'm fucking put a couple extra hits on the shoulder caps, definitely around the abs, you know what I mean? And then glazing the hell up, man. 'Cause my body is weird. Like I soak up. If I get glazed, if it's 5 or 10 minutes, like literally I'm dry. So like a lot of the girls that I forget Protan, they've known me. I've had some like Christy, I've had her, do a few of my shows, and she knows to follow me and while I'm in line because I'll dry the hell up, man.
Yeah.
So but yeah, that's one of the things. Honestly, man, shit. Because the way you was looking, man, I will say that's the only thing I think I would have critiqued you on is just getting darker.
Darker? Man,
Or maybe a glaze. Maybe more of a glaze.
I would agree with the glaze aspect because I had my boy Josh Wise was there, Daniel. So I had him look me over for my tan, but the glaze, I felt like the girls that were glazing people up were real like kind of territorial, weren't really like doing the best job. They looked for the wristband, and if you didn't have their wristband, you didn't get the best glaze.
Nah, trust and believe. I'm not moving. You glaze me.
Oh yeah, I could see that. But I will say this: I was the best poser on stage. I had the best presentation on stage.
Oh shit! See,
don't
now
care
that's
what nobody says.
Man, I might have to come to Puerto Rico, man.
Calm down. All the
that's hey, man. That's what we do it for, man. Just some friendly fun. Like I said, I mean, just off of that alone, man. Like you see some of the other guys, like say, Andres and Raymonts, and bro, it's just cool having that camaraderie, knowing that we're gonna go in here. I may not beat you, you may not beat me, but ain't nobody beating us, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like we gonna keep it in the family. Like it's a good feeling, man. So I can't wait to get to that point and just build more relationships. Just keep pushing forward, man.
Yeah, I hear that. So what's next for you? I know like shows, you're still figuring that out. Oh, what's next?
I mean, literally still figuring it out. Like this is the first week I'm with Ryan. So I'm checking in every day. Like I said, he's definitely busy right now because I think pre-judging actually just started. No, it starts at 12, I think, for men's physique. At the Utah Pro. I'm gonna call it Utah Pro.
We're gonna change the name. Utah Pro.
But so we still figuring it out, man. But he definitely knows that, he wants to put me on stage just because, how far I am right now. So man, we're just hitting it, and he's giving me a shitload of food, and tomorrow's a high day, and it makes me sweat. And it sucks. We were talking about water. And that's actually the trick that I learned is just trying to down as much water as I can earlier in the day. Because especially on a high carb day, man, you drink a glass of water on 2 cups of rice, bro, you're feeling huge, man. And all my meals are 2.5 cups. It's like, bro, I still got to drink a gallon of water. I'm like, dog, I'm gonna explode. Like I can eat the food, no problem with no water. I'm just used to that. But when I start, I'm like, damn, I'm behind on my water, and I'm like, shit. That's when I start feeling like I weigh 1,000,000 pounds.
And then you gotta check real quick. You gotta eat your food like you're saying. Then you're bloated. You're like, oh man.
Bruh, that shit is the worst. So I definitely try to get my water in early. And then also too, I've learned to try to cut it off, soon because I don't want to keep getting up in the middle of the night using the bathroom and shit.
This morning, I got up like 4:00 in the morning to go take a piss. Close my eyes. Next thing I know, it's 5:00. I've been awake for an hour. Nothing fucking changed. I'm still wide awake because I went to pee. Then I just like hop on the couch and then like stay up for another 2 hours for no reason. And I'm like, man, I wish I didn't drink that glass of water before bed.
Yeah, it can definitely fuck with you, especially when you start taking, say dandelion root or some type of water.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that'd be the worst. Like every 5 minutes, it's like you haven't gone all day. It's like this cannot be real. I remember when I was in DC area, I used to live like 5 miles from my job, and I would use the bathroom right before I left my job and could not make it to my front door. Like I remember one time I had to pull over, man. I made it in the neighborhood, but could not make it to my apartment. And I had to pee outside, bro. Just I just couldn't make it. It was just absurd. In DC, the traffic is horrendous. And it's like that 5 mile straight shot, 30-minute drive. And I'm like, bro, I can't make it. This is it.
30 minutes go 5 miles. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, that is the problem. But also, I mean, literally, I just pissed 20, 30 minutes ago. I'm like, and it felt like I ain't pissed all day. It's like, yo, this is not real. Nobody warned me about this part of prep.
Yeah, you gotta get that water in, man, dude. All right, so we're gonna finish up in a little bit, but one of my last questions I ask everyone, right? Kind of the title of the podcast that Daniel and I started is next up. So why do you think you're next up?
Why do I think I'm next up, man? Just my overall just outlook and not necessarily just on the bodybuilding standpoint, but just the ability to help people. Because I know it's bigger than me. You know what I mean? Especially like just seeing it once I went pro, just in this area. We don't have much of anybody, other pros, especially men's physique. So it's like, it's bigger than me. Of course, I love the sport. I love seeing my body change. And that's just the energy that we just need to bring more so to the forefront. And, that's why I think, I should be next up. And when I say next up too, that's just on multiple levels. We can take it one step at a time. That's why I should be top 10. That's why I should be top 5. Like just the energy I bring, just not only like just for myself or self advancement, but just to help everybody else too.
Man, love that shit. Daniel, you got anything else?
That's all I got. Other than that, you are my brother, and that's my shirt.
I did sell this shirt. He outgrew this. What can I say? It looked good on me. All right, man.
Brother, good luck to you on your next show.
I appreciate it, man. Same to you, man.
Yes, sir. Thanks for hopping on. We'll see you on stage.
All right, man.